Hi, nerds. We're in person.
Welcome. We are finally in person.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute since we've got to record together.
Yay. So this is our Hunger Games summer, and I don't have my book.
Do you want to hold one of these here?
Hunger Games summer,
Yay!
and this month we're doing Catching Fire, the sequel.
Yeah.
To the original trilogy.
I need you guys to understand that I've had these books since at least high school.
Oh my god.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to I have my first the first Hunger Games book. I don't know what happened to the rest of mine. So I bought these new paperback.
I know, that's what I want.
And they're so pretty. So yeah. Yeah. We're excited. We're gonna dive into Catching Fire. Yay.
I hadn't read Catching Fire since the first time I read it, in high school or whatever. And I just forgot how amazing it is. I cried. The series is amazing.
Yeah. I think that I was definitely the kind of person who read it one time and just haven't gone back to it. I've watched the movies though multiple times and I love them. So I've been watching the movies after I finished the books, and it's been, especially with Catching Fire, it's so much more lost than the first one, I guess, for sure.
Yeah. And I know we've talked about this, but reading them, the Hunger Games, now Catching Fire, after Sunrise and the Reaping, it hits different.
It does.
Hits harder, and it's just ugh.
The characters just mean so much more.
Yeah, they mean so much more.
Yeah.
And it does make me agree with Chanel about how Maisley's pen and their friendship should have been in it more, because Madge, who's related to Maisley, that would have been her aunt. Madge is in it a lot, not a lot, but she's in it in Catching Fire too.
She's not physically in it a lot, but she's mentioned throughout all of Catching Fire.
Yeah,
She really is.
Yeah, and even I just finished Mockingjay, and she's mentioned a couple times too. So yeah, she's a big part of the Hunger Games, and no one mentions her in the movies. Just saying.
That's why we got fan fiction.
Yeah. But yeah, we can kind of dive right in, and yeah. I don't know. I guess, do you want to talk about go through it, kind of the big moments, or our favorite moments, or I don't know how we want to do it.
Yeah, we can just kind of do a quick hit it kind of thing. It picks up just after the first book. You just kind of hit the ground running in the book. They're living in the Victor's village, and
Villa. She's been watching Love
I've
Island.
been watching
We're in our Love Island.
the villa.
Another bombshell enters the villa.
2 bombshells have entered the Victor's
That's not
villa.
till Mockingjay. We don't get any bombshells till
Chanel.
I just finished it.
I just Prim.
Sorry.
But so now the only people who have houses there are Haymitch and Katniss, and then Peeta, and we just kind of it gets into how their life goes back to normal, but it's not normal anymore.
Also, the other thing that I didn't remember until reading it again is almost the first third of the book, really. Yeah, probably third of the book is not even in the games.
No,
it's more
literally
The game is the last quarter.
Yeah,
it's
half,
this is
maybe?
literally
yeah
the games.
yeah. So yeah, maybe
I
half.
would say not even 100 pages.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe 2/3. Okay, it just keeps expanding. 2/3 is really leading up to the games, right? Because it's like you said, it's their life back in the village, back in 12. Then it's them, then it's the victory tour first. Actually,
The victory tour is first. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the victory tour. It's life back in 12. Then it's prepping for the games, and then it's the actual games. So I totally forgot about that, and I was just wow, there's so much build up, and then it's the actual games, which go really quick. So that was super interesting to kind of go back and be whoa.
And the big hits that you get is when they're getting ready to do the victory tour, President Snow shows up at Katniss's house, pretty much like, I don't believe that you guys are in love. You need to convince me. I do really love the line, though, because she's so scared, but she makes this comment. He talks about how, like, this spark that she's made could bring everything down. And she says, like, oh, well, it can't be very, like, their country can't be very strong anyway if this one little thing can bring it all down. And I think that's the first time we can see that she's, like, letting it show that this does probably all bother her. But basically the book starts with, like, okay, she's gonna make it seem like her and Peter are in love. She has to do it because he's pretty much said he'll kill her family, kill Gale. Like, he knows who Gale is now.
Even threatens Madge.
Yeah. Pretty much threatens everyone. And then we learn that he has been watching her. She only gets to hunt with Gale, like, one day a week now. And he did kiss her when she got back. They only did it kissed one time, but Snow has seen it. So he brings that up when they're there. And so it's pretty much really depressing as soon as you first, like, dive in. Like, there's this whole book is just, like, so fucked up. Yeah, so then they do their tour, and I love the scene with Rue's district. It's even better in the book. I think they do a great job in the movie too of, like, showing it and stuff. But it's just hard to read, to see how Peeta is always trying to help, and they're not keeping Peeta in the loop. Haymitch and Katniss are. And so, like, Katniss told Haymitch about everything, pretty much with, like, Snow and how she wants to protect Peeta. And after he donates his money to Rue and all that happens, they finally all three get to talk, and he's pissed because they never include him in their plans, which is just like the first book too. He's never really included, so.
Poor Peeta.
Yeah, so basically they do this whole tour. Peeta and Katniss are actually getting close again because they really haven't talked a whole lot alone since the Hunger Games. And at the end, when they're at President Snow's mansion, he tells them, like, he, like, shakes his head no, and so she knows that nothing matters anymore because, and so that's kind of how she feels. But what's also interesting at that party, this is where we get to meet Plutarch.
Yeah.
Like, Katniss meets him for the first time. And of course, like, because we already know what happens and everything, you're just like, Katniss is never like, he's like, oh, have you seen my new watch? And he opens it really quick. It's a pocket watch, and then a Mockingjay flashes on it and closes it, and she's like, oh, is he just trying to show off his expensive jewelry to me? Cool.
I will say what is kind of, like, frustrating, but, like, a good frustration when reading this book after you've read it once, like, since you already know all this stuff that's going on, it's kind of frustrating to read it again. It's kind of like when you read Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban and you know what's going on. You're like, why is everybody being so stupid in this book right now about everything?
Like,
and
you never would have known about Scabbers.
But no, like, especially in the games, like, when Joanna and, like, Finnick and everything, and Katniss is just, like, I don't know, making it as difficult as possible, but she doesn't know. But, like, it's just frustrating to read back. She's like, just let them help you.
Yeah. Another thing, this is kind of, like, after the tour, because that's what I want to talk about in the tour, like you said, was Plutarch, but, and this, I did not catch the first time reading it, but, like, the whole Gale thing, which we've talked about before, right? Like, okay, so she's committed to making him a love interest. Yeah. But, like, I think this is when, because he wasn't really a love interest in the first book, but I think this is when it got pushed, was catching fire. And specifically, she has, like, the conversation with Snow, she gets spooked, and, like, Katniss is like, I gotta leave. Me and Gale, we can leave, we can take our families, we can get out of here, you know, there's some kind of uprising, but, like, we can go, we can make it, we can, like, you know, go into, you know, past District 12, and we can just leave. And so she, like, goes to Gale, they're at their little, like, hut house or whatever. Yeah. Like, you know, what it's called, and she's like,
They're at the house, right?
In the meadow.
Yeah,
house
like,
in the meadow.
From Songbirds and Snakes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And hello, which to me, I was even more emotional reading this, knowing that. I'm like, this cabin is bad luck for everybody that comes to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't good.
That's true. And she's like, you know, we gotta leave. And he's like, no, because she's telling him about what she saw, right? And he's like, you know, stop it, you don't know what you're saying. And he's like, you know, I'm quoting right here, like, this is why we have to join the fight, you know? And she's like, no, we have to leave before they kill us and a lot of other people too. I'm yelling again, and I can't understand why he's doing this. Why doesn't he see what's so undeniable? And he goes, you leave then. I'd never go in a million years. And she's like, well, you were happy enough to go before. I don't see how an uprising in District 8, because she tells him, right?
Yeah.
Does anything but make it more important that we leave. You're just mad about, no, I can't throw PETA in his face. What about your family? What about the other families, Katniss, the ones who can't run away? Don't you see? And so this is also right after, I believe, they had just kissed. Or are they about to kiss? Let me see. I think they're like about to kiss. Let me see. He's like,
I don't remember.
I changed my mind. I don't want anything made in the capital. Oh, because she's like about to give him like whatever, some gloves.
The gloves.
Yes, I looked down at the gloves and he made in the capital. Blah blah blah. I'm thinking they're like about to kiss or like, because this was. Did they kiss?
I don't remember now if they kiss here, but in the beginning she mentions that her and Gale kiss when she gets back.
Yeah.
But only that one time. But
yes,
I don't know.
But maybe that's why.
But I don't remember if they kiss in the cabin now.
I don't remember that either now.
I know. Okay, hold up. I'm looking at. Oh, he says I love you. That's what it is. Why should I? I love you. I never see these things come and they happen too fast. 1 second you're proposing a plan and then the next you're expected to deal with something. And she goes, I know. So she doesn't say it back to him. That's what happened in the cabinet. He says, I love you. They don't kiss. You're right. Okay, so
it's more tragic.
I know, right?
It gets
okay,
worse.
So that's what I wanted to say. So he's telling her, I love you. But then she tells him about the uprising and then he's like, he's like, oh, I don't want to leave with you anymore. We need to fight. Like, he changes his whole demeanor, his whole idea and plan, right? Like, at first he's all lovey-dovey with her. I don't want anything from the capital anymore. We need to fight. We got to stay and fight. Okay, like, instantly he changes after he knows what's going on. There's a rebellion, okay? And it ruins the mood, the romantic mood, okay? So then Katniss goes back home and runs into PETA. And I just thought it was so interesting, the two ways that they react to Katniss telling them these news, right? So PETA goes, so Katniss goes, President Snow wasn't convinced by me. There's an uprising in District 8. We have to get out. PETA goes, by we, do you mean just you and me? No. Who else is going to be going? And she goes, my family, yours if they want to come, maybe Haymitch. And he goes, well, what about Gale? She goes, I don't know. He might have other plans. PETA shakes his head and gives a rueful smile. I bet he does. Sure, Katniss, I'll go. And then she goes, I feel a slight twinge of hope. You will? He's like, yeah, but I don't think for a minute you will. I jerk my arm away. Then you don't know me. Be ready. It could be any time. He goes, Katniss. And I don't slow down. If he thinks it's a bad idea, I don't want to know. Katniss, hold up. I really will go if you want me to. I just think we better talk it through with Haymitch. Make sure we won't be making things worse for everyone. And I just like the idea that Haymitch is like, or PETA is like, I'll go with you, but I just don't think that you're going to go and leave your family.
He literally knows her better than she knows herself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas Gale's like, yeah, I'll go. We'll do all this whole thing. But, like, his main concern is, like, even over his family, which we know he loves his family. We know he loves Katniss. We know he loves Katniss's family. But, like, he's always been a rebel. Gale has always been a rebel, always has been a fighter. And PETA's always... his first priority is Katniss and to love Katniss. And I think right there, even though they want to throw in the love triangle, whatever, but like those two conversations prove exactly who they were from the beginning. Again, while they were trying to push that, like, you know, again, she kisses him again after he gets whipped and, you know, obviously again in Mockingjay they kiss again, like multiple times, but... and then obviously we know the whole story of PETA, but like that's who they were established immediately. And I never caught that. But I'm like, this was the situation. You knew it from the beginning. Anyway.
Yeah. Personally, and I know it's biased, I had read the whole series at this point, but reading it back, like, I know it's a quote-unquote love triangle because Gale loved Katniss, but to me, Katniss never loved Gale like that. To me, it was just always Katniss and Peeta, and it was like how to deal with the Gale situation, with the fallout of Gale because of it.
Yeah. Yes, losing her best friend.
Yeah.
Losing, like, her partner, losing...
Yes.
It's
It's just interesting reading it, because obviously I was, like, in high school when I read it, and then reading it now, I'm like, oh, like, a love triangle, as in the fact both of these guys loved Katniss. But Katniss always, like, loved Peeta differently. It was just always different. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think what's important to know in the book, this is the main difference from the book to the movie, if people have only watched the movies, that I noticed, because this all starts because Gale hears from Katniss about this uprising and stuff, which we get to hear. Part of it is when she's at Madge's house, because her dad has a TV
That's
on.
how she found.
That's how she finds out. But later on, that happens. It's not brought up. Well, that's not in the movie either. But
well, yeah,
she
Madge
is out,
doesn't exist.
Yeah, she is out at that cabin again alone, and two people are escaping from District 8, and they tell her.
Yes.
They talk to her, and they're like, "We're going." And this is how District 13 is initially brought up in this book. They're like, "Oh, we're going to District 13. Like, we've escaped," and they have bread with a Mockingjay stamped on the front. And they're like, oh, you know, this is all because of you and the Hunger Games. And they tell her, you know, they think that District 13 is still alive and well because the Capitol Witches plays the same clip over and over. And you can see, like, a certain bird every time they play it. And Katniss doesn't really believe them at first. But then I forget which one comes first. And then she sees it on Madge's dad's TV that there is an uprising in 8, and it's like killed a bunch of people, and like a factory got blown up, and so
and those people were far from the factory.
Yeah, they were from the factory, and that's the only reason they escaped is because no one's looking for them because they think that they died in this like explosion or whatever. So when all this is happening or whatever, then this is when we find out, because it's a quarter quell, just like Haymitch's was. And we know from his game, it was double the participants. Well, in this one, they're only going to pull from surviving victors, which only leaves Katniss, Haymitch, and Peeta from District 12, because obviously, you know, we don't know about Lucy Gray, but...
It's just so crazy. Again, I know I keep saying it, but reading it a second time, even though you know it's going to happen, I still didn't want it to happen.
Yeah.
When, like, they're announcing what the theme or whatever is going to be of the quarter quell, I'm like, no.
And I think it's...
For me, it wasn't even traumatizing. Like, I mean, obviously, like, it's like Katniss, you know, it ends the chapter and she's like, I'm going back in. And you're like, heartbreaking. For me, it was traumatizing because... yes, they just went through it, Peeta and Katniss, but, like, Haymitch, who has been, like, numbing himself out for 25 years from these games, who knows it, he's like, I'm going back in. That's what he's thinking to himself. Like, that's what got, because, you know, Haymitch, he's my boy, and I'm just, that's what was
he's like,
me.
fuck.
he's like, I thought I'm done with this shit.
Snow's like, I'm done with all your guys in District 12's bullshit.
I know.
So
That's what got me.
Snow hates District 12.
So, I think also in this part, so when that happens, Katniss, like, you know, she runs off. She's like, she ends up, like, falling and hurting herself too because she's so blindsided by it. Well, when she finally goes to see Haymitch later, I highlight this part because I think it just speaks volumes of Peeta and Katniss's thing, because Peeta is so much always thinking about Katniss, like you said, is he immediately went to Haymitch's house where Katniss had to, like, run and, like, process. And so when she goes in, Haymitch, as drunk as a skunk, sitting alone at the kitchen table.
He's so funny.
He's sitting alone at the kitchen table, a half-empty bottle of white liquor in one fist, his knife in the other, drunk as a skunk. Oh, there she is, all tuckered out. Finally did the math, did you, sweetheart? Worked out you won't be going in alone. And now you're here to ask what? I don't answer. The window's wide open and the wind cuts through me. I'll admit it was easier for the boy. He was here before I could snap the seal off the bottle. begging for another chance to go in, but what can you say? He mimics my voice. Take his place, Hamish, because all things being equal, I'd rather Peeta have a crack at life than you. And then it kind of goes down for a little bit. And Katniss says, maybe it should be you. I say matter-of-factly as I pull up a chair. You hate life anyway. And he put very true. And he says very true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then they talk for a second. And then this is the, like, the famous line. And then Hamish says to Katniss, you could live 100 lifetimes and not deserve him, you know. And then...
Where's the line?
I know.
That's what she wrote in her book. Where's the line?
And so, then they're talking. I'll do this really quick. Then they're talking again, and this again part just hits so hard because of Sunrise on the Reaping, and so Hamish, I don't know. Hamish sighs. Go back in with you, maybe if I can. If my name's drawn at the Reaping, it won't matter. He'll just volunteer and take my place. Mm-hmm. We sat for a while in silence. It'd be bad for you in the arena, wouldn't it? Knowing all the others, I ask. Oh, I think we can count on it being unbearable wherever I am. He nods at the bottle. Can I have that back now?
Yeah. It makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Because it's just so crazy. Again, reading it after Sunrise on the Reaping, it's his mentors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's all, like you said, all of his friends, all his mentors.
It makes this book even more devastating to have read Sunrise on the Reaping.
I know. That's what...
Because, like, but what's so great about Suzanne Collins' writing, though, is that you kind of, like, fall for these new characters pretty quickly. Like, you, like, love them almost instantly for different reasons. And then, so it's just, like, you already like them anyways from this book, and then when you get more of a backstory and who they are, like, it chokes me up thinking about it, and then you already have it. And then I don't know, and then you're just more attached to them.
That's why this is my... I love this book more than Hunger Games because of that.
Yeah, and I think...
Because of those characters.
Yeah. And once you read this book, you realize that she really has had everything at least thought of. Yeah, to an extent from the beginning. Because, so after, they find out, they're going to be, and of course, Hamish's name does get called, so then Peeta volunteers for him.
Of course.
So then, which is interesting because you don't see it in the movie, they train. Like, Hamish stops drinking and they all train to get stronger together. They're, like, trying to come up with a plan. Peeta's going to try to save Katniss. Katniss is going to try to save Peeta.
I think that's a big deal that Hamish isn't really drinking.
He's not drinking a whole lot in this one.
Mm-hmm. He's taking it seriously,
What I think is really interesting, speaking of Sunrise on the Reaping, so when they're on the train, they're studying other Hunger Games. And when they think Hamish is asleep, because they never ask Hamish about his. He doesn't talk about it, whatever. They decide to watch the Hunger Games, Hamish's Hunger Games, which is so interesting because if you watch Sunrise on the Reaping, they talk about this again about how it's so edited and everything's switched up. So when they're watching this, they're not even getting the full story, but I just think it's interesting because they're talking about when the names are called, and it says there's not a woman, not Effie, calling the names in District 12. She begins with ladies first. She calls out names of a girl who's from the scene. You can tell by the look of her, and I hear the name Maisie Donner.
Best character.
Yeah. And then Katniss says she was my mother's friend, and then Peeta says, I think that's your mother hugging her, which is what happens.
I'm getting chill. Look, chills just reading about it.
And then they go to Maisley's twin sister hugging her, and then Katniss says, Madge, I say, because it looks like Madge. And Peeta says, that's her mother. She and Maisley were twins or something. My dad mentioned it once. And so then they watch it, and it's just so sad because they talk about, like, the order these people die, and, it's all out of order or whatever. And then they find out that Hamish is actually standing behind them. He's, like, watching it, and Hamish shrugs. I don't see that it makes much difference. They'll still be 100% as stupid as... they're watching the interviews, and so they see a young Hamish on the interviews, which we know what he's going to say because we've read it. But they... Caesar asked Hamish, what do you think of the games having 100% more competitors than usual? And Hamish shrugs, I don't see that it'll make much difference. They'll still be 100% as stupid as usual, so I figure my odds will be roughly the same. Yeah. And then it goes through his games, and then it goes to the part, Maisie Donner steps out of the woods. We'll live longer with the two of us. When they finally, meet up again and become friends. And then, you know, Haymitch catches them watching it or whatever. And I'm like, I would have to be drunk too for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm. You know, after I read this book, I obviously like my TikTok and Reels and stuff, a lot of it is Hunger Games stuff because I've been looking at it. But, and I don't know why I didn't think about this, but a lot of people were mentioning, because they talk about the other victors, like some of their games, they mention them again. And so a lot of people are just assuming, like, some of these people that have won, like, Wyrus, who, like, electrocuted a bunch of people, they're like, I bet that she was actually trying to take down the arena.
Yeah.
And accidentally electrocuted a bunch of people.
Oh, you mean, like, BT?
Or BT. And that, like, so, like, that was actually, like, his poster or something.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's, like, really interesting. People are like, what was really going on during these other Hunger Games with some of these victors who won, like, like with Haymitch, like they were actually trying to break the arena. How many other contestants have tried to break the arena when they were in there?
Yeah, because like Haymitch was trying to, you would never know watching their games with how they've edited it. So like you said, it's just like, okay, well, all these people, who knows, you know, who was trying to do what.
I can't think of it. No, there's another one. There's BT who would like electrocute people. There's another one that was like that. They almost makes more sense that like they were trying to do something else.
I think they even say it with Phoenix, the girl from District 4, Annie, that she only lives because there's a big wave and it floods everything.
Knew how to swim.
And she's like one of the only ones who knew how to swim. And then so I've heard some people say, oh, well, like maybe she was just trying to like literally drown, like what, you know, that's what Haymitch was going to do, is they were going to flood it too. So then it's just like, okay, who knows what's what. So
dang, that's crazy.
So once they get there, they finally get to meet all these people, and their plan is they're gonna get like a strong pack. Katniss has to pick people to like be a part of their team for the Hunger Games. And my favorite line is because, of course, she doesn't like any of the careers. Phoenix like kind of hit on her already. She doesn't want Finnick at first or anything, and she so Haymitch is like, okay, who do you want? And she's like, I want Mags from District 3. And he goes, of course you do. And he signs and orders another bottle of wine. And it's just like, you know, because of course that's who she wants. And so she doesn't even want, like, she's not even thinking, which she's helping herself out so much, but she's not thinking, like, who's going to help me win? She's literally just like, who do I like as people? And she likes Mags.
Like, I mean, yeah, that was like his mentor. So it's like, he knows that, you know, she's smart, but obviously she's older, so you know, she's not the most physically fit. But yeah, I mean, that's again probably why he didn't fight her as much on it. You know, like, plus they think a lot alike, so he's like, okay, well, Mags will at least provide, you know, something, right? Knowledge. She's not, right?
I just like it because you get little snippets of these characters and you realize how, like, the second you meet Joanna, you hate her and love her at the same time.
She's one of my favorite. Her and Maisie are like two of my favorite characters from the whole series.
And I like that she won her games because she just pretended like she was weak or whatever. Then she just fucked everyone up with that axe at the end. Like, she made it to the end.
And I just loved reading this book when, like, I can just, like, feel her annoyance when she is just trying to freaking help Katniss, and she's, like, with these two other, like, you know, what she thinks weirdos, and, like, dragging them through this whole thing with blood everywhere.
Just slow, older people, like...
And then Katniss is just concerned about the, like, two other people, and she's like, cool! Like, what about I've been dragging them through here for you, but...
Yeah. And because, like, literally, and that's... Well, hold on. So then
that's in the games.
Yeah, sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
Well, no, you're fine.
I love
it's so
the
great,
games
though.
in this.
Well,
I mean, I don't love it.
I mean, but look, we're not even the games, and there's only this much of the book left.
Yeah,
like, it's so quick. So right before they go to the games, they're getting ready to go or whatever. Haymitch just says, "Stay alive" for advice. And then when she's walking away, he says, "Katniss, when you're in the arena," she says, "What?" Defensively, just remember who the enemy is. Now that's all. Now go on, get out of here. And then this is also really sad because she's seen Senna. He's like, you know, he's like, you know, dressing her up or whatever. And he said, "Remember, girl on fire, I'm still betting on you." And he kisses my forehead. And then as she's going up, you know, they beat the shit out of him, and it's so sad. And then, so that trauma of, like, right before she's going into the Hunger Games, and then the last thing she thinks when she comes up the tube, it's like all water, and she put, "This is no place for a girl on fire," because it's literally all water.
Oh, we also have to mention just a quick thing. Yeah. Because Pete is amazing at, like, strategy and stuff like this. He tells in his interview that him and Katniss secretly got married and that she's pregnant. So at this point, they are pregnant and married in the arena.
Yeah.
Which is not true.
Which is not true, but so smart because the Capitol already almost has, I feel like, a Civil War thing happening. Like, you're finding out, like, snippets that, like, people there are obviously not happy.
Like, Cinna, clearly.
Yeah, and so,
okay
like,
with it.
this is just dividing them even more. It's like the Capitol sending not only this newly, like, wed couple who they love into the arena, who just went last year, now she's pregnant. We've got this pregnant lady in this arena.
Which is also very interesting because the Capitol's fine sending children to their death.
Yes.
But they're not okay with
their victors.
With their victors.
In general, because they're upset about Finnick a lot, too.
Yes, because they love these victors because they've come to, like, see them as one of their own or whatever. But also, then they're not okay with an unborn child, right? Now that's an innocent life now because it's unborn.
These parallels, they be parallel.
But the second they're a child, they're in the real world.
They don't care.
They don't care.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because it's like...
Is it interesting?
It's very real life.
Is it interesting?
It's interesting because it seems like our government is kind of doing the same thing. It's
like they picked up these books and
once
we should copy this.
I know.
We should do this.
Once they pop out the womb, we don't care about them.
Yeah.
But the second you are protected by that womb, you can't touch it, I guess. But so that's a little interesting. The other thing you mentioned, Finnick. We meet Finnick.
Yeah, we meet Finnick.
Finnick is amazing.
He's only 14 when he wins his games, too, by the way. So, like, he's so young.
What a great character.
Great character.
So much depth.
So complex.
I love that they made it a male character who's super... Because usually I feel like the super...
Sexual,
beautiful person who's also smart and cunning, which there's nothing wrong with that, is usually a female. Whereas this time it's a man. And I think it's so very interesting that it's a man.
You're right.
And not a girl.
Yes, and
that's why he wins his games too, is because he gets so much sponsors because he's so beautiful even at 14.
And his tributes get a lot of sponsors. But I was almost at first I didn't like him because of that. I was like turned off by Katniss, like, cool.
When he was like,
you're
the
hot.
pleasure of my company.
Yeah, cool. You're hot. Like, everyone loves you. I don't really like that.
Great.
But there's so many more layers to him, and it's like a facade essentially because he says people get the pleasure of his company in the Capitol, and he trades in secrets. That's what we've learned, at least so far with this book. We find out more in the next book.
Yeah, we find out more.
But and that's super interesting. He's like, I have a lot of secrets. You're like, okay, what kind of secrets are you hiding? So that's interesting. Before we go into the games, right?
Yeah. And then, so Katniss hasn't picked, like, Finnick or Joanna or any of these people to be friends with. And then as soon as they enter the games, you know, people are already dying because a lot of people can't swim. Like, people aren't, basically, it's definitely, she thinks, better for District 4, who are by the ocean. They're the only people who would know how to swim, truly. But she, at the very beginning of the games, she was getting ready to shoot Finnick, and he holds his arm up, and he's wearing, and this is something we learned, too, is that... which was really sweet, is Effie had got them all like gold bracelets so they could all match, like her pen, and so Finnick is wearing one to like match, and she realizes like what the fuck is going on.
But Haymitch is so smart. He knows the only way that Katniss would trust Finnick, because of course she doesn't trust him. She's like this slimy guy. The only way would be if Finnick was wearing Haymitch's cuff. Like, trust this guy. That's like how they communicate. They're so much alike. And so he's like, trust this guy. He's wearing my cuff. I give like the approval to trust him. And so she's like, okay.
Yeah, because Katniss understands that obviously President Snow hears and sees everything. And so part of it is I think Haymitch doesn't think that Katniss is ready to be on this huge revolution plan. But the other part is he knows that he can't tell her everything because everything's getting filtered through like these different people. So so basically it's her and Peeta and Finnick and Mags who were together at first, and you can kind of already tell that they set this games up that it's going to be quick, like Katniss says it. It's in the jungle, people are going to dehydrate really quick, you know, people can't swim, getting the food and stuff's going to be harder. Like, she's like, oh, this is only going to last a few days. Like, they don't want to drag it out like the other ones, you know, which is probably, you know, presidents now. So all kinds of stuff happen. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, but basically they figure out that, like, they're together, this, like, mist comes towards them, and it's poisonous gas, it's going to kill them. So then, even unlike the other games where, like, really it was the elements and the other tributes, you don't see a lot of the mutts and, like, intervention until later on. Like, from the very beginning, the game makers are, like, putting up, like,
influences, yeah, like manipulating.
So then we run back into Joanna really quick.
Well, so Mags dies from the gas.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Which is so sad.
She like sacrifices herself. Yes.
Because which I forget in the movies if it shows that it's a paralytic agent, but basically it is, and so
PETA's down.
They have to carry. It pretty much comes down to Katniss can't carry anyone because she's losing strength, and Finnick can't carry Mags and PETA. So Mags literally gets off his back and then just walks into it, and they all keep running. And it's so heartbreaking. One, because she's like 80 years old, and she saved Annie, which we didn't bring up, but that's Finnick's true love. Like, Katniss says, "Oh, Finnick, you know, Finnick loves some poor mad girl back in District 4 because, you know, everyone thinks Annie's crazy." But so after Mags dies, they run back into Joanna. She comes running through the forest. She's like covered in blood. They're all covered in blood. And Katniss doesn't necessarily obviously trust her. And it's just her covered in blood. And then it's Wiress just in blood, dried blood, saying tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. Like, and Joanna's like, yeah. Nuts is in shock talking to Wiress. And they're like fighting. Well, then Joanna and Katniss start fighting. And Joanna says, steps up and like slaps Katniss really hard, and she says, "Who do you think got them out of that bleeding jungle for you?" And then Finnick takes Joanna, and she's just like dunking her in the water to like, she's pretty much telling her like shut up, and still Katniss is like, what does that mean? You know, why would she get them out for me? Yeah,
but like, yeah, she's the one. Like, it was crucial that she picked Wiress and, I mean, Mags, obviously, just because that helps solidify also her relationship with Finnick. But like, she picked very smart people, right? Also BT, right? Really smart people to be her like allies, because Wiress figured out it was a clock.
Yeah, immediately.
She does eventually end up dying, but like,
I know it's sad.
BT is super smart and figures out that there's this force field that's surrounding the entire arena, and you know, there's a way that you're able to see it if you like look closely enough. And he had told Katniss this a while back, so she was like already on the lookout for it, and like,
yeah, without even knowing it, she learns how to do this from him, and then she can see them, and that's another reason they figure out it's a clock, is that like there's these force fields that block certain parts of it, and then it
like comes up later again, because then they make this plan to like use the force field, use this lightning that's in one of the clock's areas, and like harness that lightning, and then that's how they get out of it, because then Katniss ends up shooting the force field using the lightning and breaking the force field. So I'm like, all without BT knowing that, without him stringing up the whole like copper cord, like, I mean, like I said, and then, you know, without her picking these people, like none of that would have happened. So it's like, and again, you know, Wiress, Mags were, you know, Haymitch's mentors, and BT was, I mean, kind of his mentor, I guess. So it's like all just very full circle moments, and even though they're weird and not the best people that anyone else would have picked, like, it was just very touching that, like,
it's just so great how everything came back together. Like, if you would read the books in chronological order versus like release order or whatever, how it all comes back full circle is crazy. And honestly, what really gets it, especially in this one, so at the end, like you said, she shoots up at the force field instead of like, when she has her bow and arrow and she has the thing connected to it, she's gonna shoot one of the careers because he's running towards her, and then
because the whole plan goes to chaos, right?
It all goes to shit.
Her and PETA are split up.
She thinks Joanna's attacking her, but really Joanna saves her, gets her tracking device out of her.
because there's another plan that she doesn't know about.
Yeah.
Of like between Haymitch and Joanna and Finnick.
Yeah, and it's like they keep getting bread from a certain district, and there's so many loaves, and Finnick keeps saying it out loud, and Katniss is like, why? And so this was how they were communicating with him, like when everything should go down. So everyone knows about this, but Peeta and Katniss, they're left out on purpose.
Yeah.
Here, I can read it. Actually, it says there was a plan to break us out of the arena from the moment the quell was announced. The victor tributes from 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 11. So right, that's BT, that's Finnick, that's the Morphlings, that's Joanna. 7 was a couple of people we didn't mention, and 11 is Chaff, I think how you say his name.
Yeah.
They had various degrees of knowledge about it. Plutarch has been for several years part of an undercover group aiming to overthrow the Capitol. He made sure the wire was among the weapons, this copper wire. BT was in charge of blowing a hole in the force field. The bread we received in the arena was a code for the time of the rescue, and the district where the bread originated from indicated the day. So 3, the number of rolls was the hour, 24, and the hovercraft belongs to District 13. Bonnie and Twill, the women I met in the woods, were from 8 and were right about its existence and its defense capabilities. We are currently on a very roundabout journey to District 13. Meanwhile, most of the districts in Panem are in full-scale rebellion.
And then what's the saddest line at the end? No, just read it.
Gosh.
So basically what happens is, what we've learned pretty quickly is that after she blows this up, she gets saved, and Gale is talking to her. Gale's there.
Who else gets saved, right? She gets saved.
Finnick.
BT gets saved, and Finnick gets saved. Joanna gets left behind.
Of course.
Of course she does, yeah.
Peeta gets left behind. And Obaria, who is a career, she gets left behind. And that's it. Effie gets left behind. I'm trying to think of who else. But, and then other than that, everyone else died.
Yeah.
All the other, like, tributes that were, like, in the games died. But, like you said, she's on this hovercraft going to District 13. She wakes up, she sees, like, Finnick and BT are still, like, either drugged or in this hospital with her on this hovercraft. And she sees Gale, and he says Katniss, and I recognize that voice. It's the same one he uses to approach wounded animals before he delivers a death blow. Don't, I whisper, but Gale is not one to keep secrets from me. Katniss, there is no District 12. So he's telling her that District 12 has basically been blown up.
Yeah.
And he's saying after the games they sent in planes, dropped firebombs. Well, you know what happened to the Hob.
Yeah, because the Hob gets burned down. It's because everything's covered in coal dust there. So, like, everything's so flammable. And, yeah. So, like, the whole book is so sad. The last 40 pages are so sad. And then we learn that an entire district's been killed. And it's, like, the end.
The only funny part is that she, like, tries to attack Haymitch with a needle or, like, a syringe. And she's like, he's like, this is why we don't let you make the plans.
Yeah, he's like,
this is why we don't let you make the plans. You against the Capitol with a syringe.
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, it's so crazy.
And it's so great. And like you said, like, they say Plutarch's been involved for numerous years. You can think back to, like...
He's been involved since the beginning.
And I think it's important to know from Sunrise on the Reaping, just with all the parallels that are happening, like, now in real time with us, is the reason that Plutarch is so pro-revolution and changing things, which we learn, is that his family has this huge library with all of these books. That's why he knew what Lenore Dove's name meant, because he's read Edgar Allan Poe. And so I think it's really important to know that, like, people who are more educated see these things. Like, if you're reading, if you're, you know... Whereas, and it's pretty much implied, even though they don't say it, is even people in the Capitol don't read those things. So, like, if you keep these books and novels and things from people, it really can affect your beliefs, for sure.
Yeah.
Love it.
Craziness.
Can't wait to talk about
Such a good book.
Mockingjay and just fucking sob the whole time. It's gonna be...
I don't know, I cried more for this, in this book, than I did for Mockingjay. Like, I cried, obviously... reading Mockingjay, but I think I was more just like in shock, like rereading that one. I cried more for this book because I was thinking about Sunrise on the Reaping. there in Mockingjay, it's again a lot of build up, and then it's more the last like third of the book when it's like
happening.
Yes. Whereas I feel like this book
is the same.
It is the same, but I don't know why it just felt like,
I think you're more attached to the characters after reading Sunrise on the Reaping.
That's what it is.
You're
more attached to the characters. That's
and
what
it's
it
like
is.
you know what they've gone through.
Yes.
Especially, like, even though I know BT doesn't die, but you know what these characters have gone through. So then to see them now and then what happens to them more, it's like, my God.
I literally think that's it.
Like when Mags dies, I'm just heartbroken.
Literally, like, literally. And like, honestly, literally just like meeting BT and being like, he had to go back in he's already had a games. Then he had to mentor his son.
Who gets eaten by squirrels.
And now he has to go back in the games. That is his life. That's his life.
Literally his whole life.
His whole life. And then in Mockingjay, then he has to work in District 13. Like, he's had a rough fucking life. Like, you know what I mean? So just him having to be in these games, like when we meet BT, this is the first time we're meeting him, but he's at the end of his life.
No one working harder than BT.
No one.
You know, I also want to know more about Joanna though, because she states in Catching Fire she has nobody.
No one.
Okay, it's like, well, what did she do in her games or after her games that Snow took out everybody that she loves?
Yes.
Like, right, there's got to be more.
Because she literally screams at the sky, I have no one left. What are you going to do to me?
And she has so much anger.
Yeah.
Which, like, rightfully so. But it's like, I need to know more of, like, what actually happened.
No, you're totally right, because the same happens, because her and, which I didn't remember, her and Katniss get very close in Mockingjay. Like, they train together, and the same thing happens. Like, I'm just like, what happened to you?
Yeah.
Like, because she obviously gets tortured in the Capitol like PETA.
Yeah.
They don't go super into it, but she gets really traumatized, and you're just like, there's a story for her. Like, her backstory would be amazing. BT's backstory would be amazing. Both of them, I don't know. This is...
We need it, Suzanne Collins.
This is my... Okay, I think that's what we need to go through. Sunrise and the Reaping, I think I've already said. Sunrise and the Reaping is my favorite book. This is my second favorite book. I've just finished Mockingjay, and I even though I liked it, it's Hunger Games next, and then it's Mockingjay.
I feel like I'm not putting Mockingjay in mine yet because I haven't reread it and I want to reread it. But if we're going all of the books, I think my favorite one... You guys, this is so hard.
Do you want me to go? Because I know my favorite.
Yeah, you go.
So if it was me, my favorite is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even put that.
Yeah, and then I would say Sunrise on the Reaping. Then I would say Catching Fire, and then I would say Hunger Games. I haven't reread Mockingjay yet, so I'm going to leave. So mine's not, it's not conclusive yet, but that's where my rankings stand thus far.
Yeah. They're all so good. I forgot about Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
This is hard because I loved Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, too. I think mine... Oh, Hey Mitch's book was so good, too, though. Okay, but I think Catching Fire would have to be my number one because I just love it so much. And then I think it would be Songbirds and Snakes, Sunrise on the Reaping, Hunger Games, and then I'm assuming Mockingjay unless something drastically changes. And I love Hunger Games for nostalgic reasons.
Yeah.
But also I love the clock thing in this. I think the book is so smart in Catching Fire.
It is so smart.
It's so smart.
So all the little subtle details and everything. I don't know why. Catching Fire is just so good. I didn't realize how good it. But you're right. Nostalgic reasons for just the first one because it just sets up everything. But yeah. I forgot about Ballad and Songbirds and Snakes. That's a good one too. It's gonna be really interesting. The next book she writes, like.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be another prequel, but I just don't know, like, where in the timeline it's going to be.
Part of me hopes that maybe it would be Joanna's book. That'd be cool.
I don't know. Or even Annie's book or something. Annie and Finnick or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Or even Finnick and then know all the secrets that he knows would be cool.
Oh, like post his game.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Well, this was amazing. Should we do some kudos?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go first. I want to kudos Chanel because it was her birthday. We went to have birthday dinner together and it was so fun. And obviously just kudos Ashley because I got to hang out with her yesterday at a wedding and it was so nice to see you outside of work. So I love you guys. Oh, and I want to kudos my niece and her friend. They came over for like 4 days, and they're both 15, and it's just, they're so fun, and like, it's just fun to be, you know, because I'm in my 30s, my kids are like toddlers, and so to be around, you know, 15-year-olds. The youth. They're teaching me how to be cool, and yeah, I got to shout them out, and they cleaned my car, and it was amazing.
God.
My kudos is gonna be for you guys, especially Chanel, because yes, it was her birthday, and I love you. But in general, just like we've been so busy this summer, and I just appreciate you guys being so busy and still making time to hang out. And
yeah, it's been busy.
I also want to kudos my friend Josh and his wife Sarah, because he just joined the Navy with me. And so it's so interesting to have him drilling with me, because it's like two different worlds of mine are like
colliding.
Yeah, because then I guess I also have to kudos my friend Lauren, who I drill with, who like really like, she was so funny this weekend, because like we're besties at drill. But then me and Josh are like besties at work.
Yeah.
And so like I was just watching her, I could tell she was not having it this weekend.
She was like, this is my man.
This is my bestie. It was just really funny. But I have to kudos Josh's wife too, because it's, you know, it's time away from his family and stuff, like a whole weekend. So like she's amazing, and it's just like more work that she's having to do because of it, and she's just so supportive, and
Sarah's great.
Yeah, we love her so much. And
Yeah. Dang, I don't have any kudos. I mean, I love
Chanel's like, fuck all these bitches. I got no kudos.
I mean, really, kudos to you guys. I had a great birthday dinner with you and great presents. So, thank you. That's it. My life is so boring.
She would like to kudos the cast of Love Island season 6. We all would.
For being so entertaining.
We all
I've
would.
been binge watching it. Yeah, I'm behind. I'm on season 6, so I gotta watch season 7 now. But yeah, no, you guys made my birthday amazing. So thank you.
Okay.
Love you guys, and thank you everyone for listening and watching.
Make sure you read what you like.
Bye.